Hey there, friends. Derek here. Welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. Just a few minutes each weekday to slow things down and open a new chapter in the New Testament and actually think about what's being said and how it might apply to our lives today. Today, we're going to be in John chapter 12, and this chapter feels like a bit of a turning point. Everything is starting to move toward the cross. People are responding to Jesus in very different ways, though. It opens with a moment that's a little bit uncomfortable. Jesus is at dinner, and Mary takes a jar of expensive perfume, really expensive perfume, and pours it on his feet, wiping them with her hair. It's extravagant, it's personal, and quite frankly, it's a bit over the top. And Judas immediately pushes back. Why wasn't this thing sold and the money given to the poor? Not that he would have done that anyway, but at least that's his pushback. On the surface, it sounds reasonable. But John lets us in on something a little deeper. Judas isn't really concerned about the poor. He's concerned about control, and he's concerned about money. Jesus defends Mary because what she's doing isn't wasteful. It's actually worship. Jesus recognizes something others are missing. That time with Jesus is limited. That moment, it matters. And then the scene moves quickly. Jesus enters Jerusalem. The crowds are celebrating, waving palm branches, shouting, Hosanna. It looks like momentum is building. Like everything is going right. But Jesus knows where this is headed. And he starts talking about it in a way that feels almost upside down. It's unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit, he says. He's talking about his own death, but also about a pattern for life. Real life often comes through surrender, through letting go, through what looks like loss. And then he says something that cuts pretty deep. Whoever loves his life loses it, and whoever hates his life in this world will keep it for all of eternity. That's not about self-hatred, it's about priority. What are you holding on to so tightly that you actually might be missing what matters most? And then there's this line. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness overtake you. That's urgency. It's invitation, but not an open-ended one. Because the window to respond doesn't stay open forever. And here's the tension in John chapter 12. Even after all the signs, all the teaching, all the moments, some people still don't believe. Others do, but they keep it quiet. Why? Because they're afraid. Afraid of what it might cost them socially, relationally, even culturally. John says it this way. They love the glory that comes from man more than the glory that comes from God. That's honest, relevant, because following Jesus is not just what we believe internally. At some point, it's going to show up externally in what we value, what we're willing to risk, and what we're willing to release. Today, we have to remember that we ask ourselves the question, what are you doing with Jesus right now? Not in theory, but actually. Thanks for taking time with me this morning. Be well, friends.